mm, experimental design. Figure 2 presents the major features of our experimental design. In order to recruit small subjects and map a larger social network, all communication with subjects was conducted by email and all choices was submitted on a website rather than in a lab that subjects could access with a password through their own web browsers. We conducted two waves of experiments. In each wave, we first used a novel task to elect the social network truthfully. We then we then had subjects playing a location game with the other subjects in the network. In wave one, we used modified dictator games with varying exchange rates and in wave 2 we used a new helping game. In both waves, decision makers first decided on allocations between themselves and other unnamed nameless partners, and then a few days later made several allocations between themselves and named partners, identified by real first and last name at various social distances. For both waves, a single decision was randomly selected for payment, and all players were informed their earnings by mail. We conducted two major information treatments using a within subject design in wave 1 and a between subject design in wave 2. In these treatments, we both much information was revealed to both parties at the end of the experiment. In the anonymous treatment, each subject was merely informed on their total payoff for the experiment. Neither decision makers nor partners found out with which particular decision was implemented. In the non-anonymous treatment, both the decision makers and partner were told both their total payoff and which decision was implemented. Design for wave 1: coordination task and dictators games. Network allocation. To measure the social network, we use the coordination task to provide subjects incentives to truthfully report their friendships. Each subject listed her 10 best friends and their average amount of time per week she spends with each of them. Each time a listed friend also listed the subject. The subject was paid 50 cents with the probability 0.5 if the answers about time spent together disagreed, or probability 0.75 if they agreed. We made the expected payoff 25 or 37.50 cents, large enough to give an incentive to list their friends truthfully, and small enough to discourage gaming. The randomization was included to limit disappointment if a subject was only named by a few people. To define the social network, we say that two subjects have a direct link if at least one of them named the other person. We call this type of social network the OR, not network. Location game. After measuring the social network, we randomly assigned each subject the role of decision maker or partner in the dictator games. Each decision maker then played modified dictator games with a nameless partner randomly selected from the decision maker's dominatory. She was asked to make allocation decisions for both anonymous and non-anonymous conditions. The decision maker allocated 50 tokens between herself and the recipient. However, the value of the token to the decision maker and to the recipient differed between games. In one case, a token was worth 10 cents to the decision makers and 30 cents to the recipient. 3. While in the second case, they were worth 20 cents to the decision maker and 20 cents to the recipient. And in the third case, they were worth 30 cents to the decision maker and 10 cents to the recipient.